What's up, everybody? We are back here for another episode of On the Couch. I'm here with the legend Scabby from Celestial Winter Trash. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's a little rainy outside, but I'm trying to stay a little chippy, you know? All right, so, first thing we're going to talk about, loosen up a little bit.
Sure.
If you could have one record that you could listen to for the rest of your life, which one would you think it'd be?
Oh, man. That's really hard for me to pin down since I have a pretty wide range. People probably tell me that I'm too, scattered in terms of, music choices or preferences, but I like being eclectic. But if I really had to narrow it down, if I had to sit down and listen to something forever, it would probably be the Mountain Goats, Sunset Tree.
Okay.
Probably. And that's where I'm coming from, too.
Okay. That's pretty much your inspiration?
Yeah.
See, that was one of my questions I want to ask. What were your influences, with growing up and stuff? I'm guessing you pretty much just answered that question right there.
Yeah. Before the Mountain Goats, I would say it was probably, I am unashamed to say it, and I think I think they get a bad rap, but I still am a ride or die guy for My Chemical Romance, to be honest. I listening to them, and they're people kind of pigeonhole them into just being like pop punk. But if you sit down and listen to it, there's a lot of innovative guitar work going on in those songs. And I just have a huge crush on Droidway. So, and I still do. So.
So, you're from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I'm sure that has influenced you a lot, but I got a little fun question before we get into some of the, more serious stuff.
Gotcha.
Do you like colder weather or warmer weather? Like, would you prefer being in 100 degree heat
Ooh.
or 15 degree freezing cold?
So that was actually one of the most difficult parts about living on an island was the weather. I felt like I was constantly at odds with my environment, to be honest. Coming over here felt more like this is probably where I should have been at for most of my life. Weather-wise, hovering around 60 degrees. That's perfect weather for me.
Yes, I'm more of a sunny than 75. Just like a couple of the songs.
Hell, if it's just a little partially cloudy, I don't like the sun. Me personally, it's just I don't know. We get it. You're there. You don't have to make a thing of it.
Right.
Just give us some UV, but not too much.
Okay. Celestial Winter Trash.
Right.
How'd you come up with that name? Where did that come from?
Tumblr aesthetic generator.
So what'd you do? You just
I'm a very indecisive person.
There you go.
I probably would have just vacillated for I don't know upwards of a month on settling on some kind of stupid moniker that I would then tire of. So I figured whatever, just hit go on, just press a button, it's gonna spit something out. And that's what it spat out, Celestial Winter Trash. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, I am a Sagittarius, so I guess, and I am a walking dumpster fire. So.
I wouldn't call yourself that, but hey, man, you gotta look inward sometimes.
Yeah.
So when did you guys form the band? What genre would you classify yourself?
Really, just initially, definitely just folksy stuff. Your typical singer-songwriter fare, with a bit of a conceptual twist, I would say. I do like writing songs about things there's a skeleton of a story going on, and I kind of hang my hat of emotions on that that coat rack of a story. So it's not so much about the concept itself, it's more about that loose skeleton being able to just kind of dress that up with the moments that actually matter. Instead of actually having to sit down and write about my emotions.
Do you got any new music coming up right now?
Yes, I do. And it's actually a little bit more, I guess a little heavier, a little bit. I'm actually starting to record with an electric guitar instead of just my acoustic guitar. And that's coming up probably sometime in the next 2 months, I would say. It's probably gonna be a short EP. And I'm actually collaborating with a close friend of mine, Luis. I'm not going to say his last name because he's actually a pretty private individual. But yeah, I usually just send him a thing, and then he just puts some drums and bass over it, and he just spits it back out to me.
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm like, cool, awesome. And
collaboration, helps a lot, too.
It totally does. It really keeps things fresh. It keeps you from, just kind of staying in your corner and not branching out. So that's been really, 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 really helpful having him to just kind of bounce ideas with. But aside from that, I would say probably after that EP, I'll just branch out into possibly getting a synth like some type of synthesizer, and just, I don't know, going ham on that.
All right, so you were talking about earlier before we started recording about your transition from Puerto Rico over here to Jacksonville. What are some things and differences you've noticed in like your music and stuff that
Well, I will say,
since coming over to Jacksonville?
I will say it's pretty funny because it was funny because just before heading over here, I was just starting to dip my toe into the local music scene in Puerto Rico. And there was some good and some bad there. Like there were some really promising acts, and like there was like kind of a general spirit of camaraderie that was nice, but there were some seedier elements going on there. There were some acts that had some weird world views, I would say, probably, and I kind of, it was weird to not see people speak out against that on the island, and I think it's probably gotten better. I can't super speak to it since I haven't been like in the thick of it, to be honest.
How long have you been in Jacksonville?
3 years.
3 years now.
3 years,
okay.
yeah. But I do keep up with the music from the island, and I just visited during like back in December.
Okay. Is it still warm over there even in December?
Yeah. It stays hot.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as cool weather in Puerto Rico, unless you live up in the mountains, but I don't. So.
Okay, so what are like some of your aspirations for the future coming up? Like, where do you see yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, maybe a decade from now?
It's funny. I mean, I guess aspirationally, in terms of music, I try to keep myself grounded and realistic. It's really something that I just kind of want to keep putting out there. I just want to have people listen to it, and if they like it, that's awesome. I probably don't see it as something that's going to, break me out into the mainstream or anything like that, and it's not really something that I'm chasing. I would probably want to start actually performing at, I don't know, like bars or clubs or something like that. But that's probably the most of it. I don't see me ever being like on a label or anything.
Okay.
Unless it does happen. Hey, if you want to sign me to a label, I won't say no. But
hey,
if you're listening out there,
you go.
Give me a call.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell everybody? Any stories that you have?
Stories that I have. Related to
just with your music and performing and stuff.
Well, I will say, I mean, I guess I could touch on my experience in a band versus by myself. Mm-hmm. I used to, back in high school, as everybody joins a band in high school, and that was what I did. I joined a band, and I couldn't play anything. I couldn't play guitar, couldn't play drums, couldn't play bass, couldn't do any of that. But I could sing. Well, knock on wood. I hope I can sing. People say that I can. That's yet to be confirmed. But
we're about to find out in a few seconds right here.
The jury's still out, right? I will say that having that kind of freedom, like performing by yourself or composing things by yourself, and being able to just kind of have to learn how to play, because I did learn once I was no longer in high school, and I obviously, like, I'm a pretty reclusive person. I'm not one to gravitate towards groups of people and like put myself in a position where like, hey, do you want to like jam out for a little bit or anything like that. So having to learn how to play an instrument and just kind of doing it and just learning by doing really is probably
trial and error.
People seem to be really afraid of just failing at things or like putting themselves out there. And I mean, yeah, the first couple of chords you're going to play are going to sound just terrible, but after a bit they're not going to sound as terrible. Well, that's the hope, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But that's kind of been my journey through it, right? Like I guess not having to like not having to not do something because I can't do it, and just kind of learn, just seeing where it takes me. We have the internet, we have the internet in the palm of our hands, the entire scope of human knowledge right there. And like sometimes, I don't know, we kind of just forget that, and we just leave, like we don't interact with it. It's just like, yeah, it's there, but like, whatever. Like, but what's stopping you from just like Googling, oh, what's a C chord look like?
Yeah.
Or what's a Dorian scale look like? Let me just play that, right?
Do you have social media?
I do, but just Twitter. I guess.
Do you want to plug your Twitter?
Sure,
What's your
it's
at?
at Celestial Winter Trash.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had Scabby.
Yeah.
What's your full name? Do you want to?
Jose Escabi. Jose Andres Escabi.
You gotta love the accent right
Yeah.
there. From Celestial.
We could do a side B in Spanish, like an interview conducted entirely in Spanish.
Do we have anybody that can do that? I couldn't tell you. I don't speak much Spanish. Hola.
Hi.
Hola, amigo.
You did it. You got it.
Thank you.
First try.
Scobby from Celestial Winter Trash. Everybody, let's give him a round of applause right there.
So this one's actually a cover. This is XR by Symbol Z Guitars. Should have mentioned that in the interview. Huge influence as well. So yeah, this is XR. This is XR. Broke my bong on purpose, hit the ceiling with weed. The summer benzo blackout sea erased my identity. Had vintage vinyl to score some CDs. No ripping rails, not listening, this is starting to scare me. 3 perfect chords get me closer to heaven. Been rapping the abyss since 2007. Space grave, well out of nowhere, the smell of his basement where we watch faces of death. Yeah, we watch faces of death and we regretted it. Alternate history, the songs we never wrote, they float above and below me. Oh, keepsake tinnitus shrieks me to sleep. Each frequency's a memory of some show we attended. Fuck your learner's permit, drive down to Philly with me, see the Wrens in a rec room. Out in the street where heat turns to steam on every surface is mercury glass. Wanna wake up wanting, listening to her records. Those old feelings elude me. I raise a toast to the rock and roll ghost, but it ain't whiskey. It's emergency. Almost died 1,000 times, and it's just a feeling behind my eyes. Got no serotonin left. Underway, you're right to be forgotten. No, almost died 1,000 times. It's just a tingling behind my eyes. Got no serotonin left. Signed away, you're right to be forgotten. No, you're right to be forgotten. No. Sweet Billy, except for when you're not so sweet. Sweet Billy, wrap your hands around mine. Sweet Billy, why such scorn against your mother? Raise you as I loved you. Sweet Billy, can't keep making excuses. Sweet Billy, I love you except when you're here. Sweet Billy, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, Billy, not so sweet, Billy. Sweet Billy, why such scorn against your